Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Today we've got the new KingKong 210 GT. So this is a 210 millimeter FPV racing quad or racing drone. This one was provided by Gearbest.com. So I'll have a link in the description down below if you guys want to pick this one up. We're going to take a look at it here and a couple things, a couple quick notes that I've noticed about this quad, and then we'll jump into some line of sight and FPV flight footage of this quad for you guys. So as you can see, what the package gives you here. Quite a bit. Of course, you've got the quad, you've got your 5.8 gigahertz antenna, you've got your transmitter, as this is a ready-to-fly package, so this is going to be great for somebody looking to begin with the quadcopters or even an intermediate flyer to try something out. This one looked very promising and was one of the reasons I picked this one up. This one does come with a FlySky FS i6 transmitter. We all know this transmitter. It's been rebranded multiple times, but it's a nice, reliable, inexpensive transmitter that comes with this ready-to-fly package. The only complaint I would say about that transmitter that I have is that it's a little on the thin side from what I'm used to. Flying transmitters are a little bit thicker, like this Spectrum. You can see it's quite a bit thicker of a transmitter, but nonetheless, some people might find that just fine. So it's a nice transmitter, and again, this is a ready-to-fly package, so everything is ready to go in the flight controller. Everything is set up as well. Some ready-to-fly packages that I've been experiencing have not been completely ready to fly, as you still need to assign the switches. On this package, you don't. So this here on your switch B is going to be your arm and disarm switch, and then switch C is going to be your different flight mode. So you're going to have your angled mode, horizon, and then your bottom lowest position click is going to be for your acro mode. So that's a great setup there. So if you're a beginner, you can stay in angled and then move to horizon to be able to do flips, and then move into your full acro where it holds its angles. So really cool transmitter on this quadcopter setup, that it's all ready to go. I really like that about this package. Another thing that I really like and dislike is that you do have, it actually comes with 10 props. So you get 10 sets of props, and these are 50 40 props on this quadcopter, and it's a very nice setup because you're actually you've got extras. Most quadcopters usually get only 1 or 2 sets. The KingKong goes ahead and provides you with 10 sets, so really awesome. I really like that. But that being said, on the one of the things that I've noticed on these props is that they're really just kind of really cheap. So just simply, I had a couple of crashes during my flight review and some of my testing, and you can see here the props, they just bend and nick so easily. Any little bit of pressure on these props, they do unfortunately bend really easily and are going to make this quad not fly properly. So had a couple of nicks and bends in them and had to change those out right away. So good thing they gave you 10 props, because these are not going to last long. So you're probably going to want to check something else, like maybe some Dell props or something like that, something that's a little bit more durable, because these are not. But again, they give you 10, so that's helpful. You're just going to have to bring a tool with you to the field so that you can change your props out. So be ready to do that. Another thing they do give you is they do give you a 1300 milliamp 3-cell LiPo, supposedly a 35C discharge. It's definitely a nice LiPo. Didn't have any major complaints. It's a good beginner LiPo to start with this quad, but you're going to quickly want to move to 4S. So keep that in mind when you are looking at this package. They do also give you a balance charger as well, which is nice. It's just another rebranded, inexpensive balance charger that you can charge 1, 2, and 3 cells. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do those 4 cells on this balanced charger. I do recommend picking up a hybrid grade style charger, and Gearbest has got plenty of those if you want to take a look at their chargers. But nonetheless, you get this, so that is nice that comes with that. Another thing that you do get with this quadcopter is just the setup itself on this quad. So really nice is one of the things that drew me to this and wanting to check it out. You got 2205, 2300 kV motors on this. You also have the F3 flight controller as well, which is always very promising. And then you've got a 700 TVL CCD camera from KingKong, which is really awesome. Most of these cameras that come with these ready to fly kind of budget quadcopters are always CMOS cameras, where on this one here you actually have a CCD. So that was really interesting that they went for that. You do have some nice bright LEDs on the rear of the quad as well, which are really awesome for orientation on this guy. Then it is going to be also paired with a 20 amp BL Heli 20 amp ESCs, which is really awesome because that lets you fly 4 cells with this, so you can very easily move from the 3 cell to 4 cell configuration. So that's another thing that I really like. Oh, the props I forgot to mention. Those are 5-inch props that do come with this, and that's pretty much the biggest I would imagine you're going to be able to fit on this frame. I wouldn't try squeezing anything any larger than that. You do have your 600 milliwatt 5.8 gigahertz video transmitter as well, so you're going to get a really nice signal. The only downfall with the 600 is if you're flying with a lot of other pilots, that may cause some interference with some of the other flyers, so keep that in mind. But lots of power, so if you're one that always is worried about how far can I fly, I always say keep it line of sight. That's the furthest that you ever want to fly one of these. You never want to have a flyaway, but it does have the 600 milliwatts, so which is pretty nice setup on there. You do have, let's see, went over the props, our balance charger, of course, went over our LiPo, which that is an XT60 connector. I apologize about mentioning that. Most quads are going to that as well. And then they do also give you a nice micro USB to micro USB connector, so that you can connect this right up to clean flight, and if you wanted to change the switches or what have you, you can do that. They do give you a bind plug as well, and then you do have your connector for your ESCs as well, for your computer, so that you can set those up to the BO Heli. So that's really awesome. They give you all that in the package, along with a few extra zip ties, so if you break the zip ties that are holding down the ESCs, and then they give you some double-sided Velcro. I'm guessing they want for the battery, but with us using multiple LiPos, I'm not sure if we're going to be using that, but they do give you those little double-sided sticky tabs as well. One thing that I really liked about this is they give you a really nice, big, colorful manual. It's not usual that you'll see manuals this nice for these quadcopters, and this thing comes with it. So there is a few different versions available that KingKong does make. This version obviously is the 210 GT. They're ready to fly in green, and that gives you the F3 flight controller, and it labels it all out, all the different flight controllers, the transmitter layouts. Of course, we've got the blue micro F3 in there, and then of course you're going to have your FlySky receiver. Just kind of shows you mounting of the antenna options here, and also your FPV camera. So one thing I didn't realize with the FPV camera is that so at its lowest position here down at the bottom, it doesn't get much angle. So if you really start to be an aggressive flyer, you don't really get a lot of pitch, a lot of angle with that. But you can actually take this mount and reverse it, and then you can mount it to the top, where then you'll be able to flip that camera around and get much more aggressive angles to that FPV camera, which would be great if you start getting really aggressive on FPV, acro flying. So that's awesome, and I really appreciate them using this camera, which is great. Everything you can see here pretty neatly tucked inside there. You can see with our flight controller, we've got our receiver here up top, and it looks like it's just one of them little micro receivers all the way up top there. And I really like the way that they mounted these antennas. And normally they just tuck, a lot of inexpensive quads will just tuck them inside and forget about it, but they took the time to route them here with some zip ties, along with this plastic tubing to run both sides of the frame. That's another thing that I really like. Of course, you can see here you does come with a 5.8 gigahertz cloverleaf antenna that is right-hand circular polarized. And it comes with this little rubber cover to kind of help keep that together and keep it from getting damaged, and then a battery strap as well. I do recommend using like an anti-slip, like rubber pad, to help with batteries from sliding around. And another thing I would highly recommend, as you'll see in my flight video, is that these standoffs totally came disconnected. So unfortunately, seems like, I don't know if it was quality control or maybe they just need to use a little blue Loctite on there. I didn't realize in flight that I actually lost my screws that were holding down my standoffs, so I'm guessing they slowly vibrated themselves out. I didn't notice it while flying through quite a few packs, and towards the end of the video, as you'll see, it wasn't meant to be the end of my review, but I lost the screws. I noticed some vibration going on, and I decided to come in for a landing, and then all of a sudden I think the last screw just went, the balance came off with the lipo on top, and then she came tumbling. Nonetheless, held the crashes that I did have very well. The carbon fiber and everything held up well. The only thing is those screws on the standoff. So I definitely recommend checking those. If anything, put some blue Loctite on there before you go for a flight, because you will be unpleasantly surprised and have to ground your quad until you get some more screws like I did. But nonetheless, I would not let that sway anyone against this quad, because everything that you're getting in this package as a ready-to-fly package is really tremendous, and I think a great value for what you're getting. I really can't wait to get some more screws in this thing and get it back up in the air and test it out some more. So definitely like it over here at Flying Life. This KingKong flyer is really sharp. So let's go ahead and take a look at that carbon fiber, as I just spoke of its durability on this guy here. So we've got, looks like about 3 mil bottom plate on the carbon fiber, and then the top, I'm guessing, is probably going to be pretty, it looks pretty thin here. It looks like 1.5, possibly, if I'm getting this right here. 1 mil. Yeah, it looks like 1 mil on top. So you got 3 and 1 mil carbon fiber, and then again your 5-inch props on there. So very promising flyer. Again, check those screws, check everything. Anytime you get these ready to fly builds, sometimes those things happen. Really awesome package. I like the setup on this quadcopter and can't wait to get it up to some more flights. So let's go ahead and jump right into the flight review. And as always, appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Today we've got the new KingKong 210 GT. Now this one was provided by Gearbest.com for review, so we're definitely going to take a look at it. First, we're going to jump into a little bit of line of sight testing, and then we'll do some FPV for you. It definitely seems like a really nicely built quadcopter. I really like the styling of it, and the thick carbon fiber on this seems to be a really nice, promising flyer. So I hope with everything in combination of each other, it should be. On this one, you are running 20 amp ESCs along with the 2205, 2300 kV motors, and you can run 3 and 4 cell lipos on it. And it does come with a little buzzer for your balance plug as well, which is pretty nice. So they do give you a 3-cell 1300 milliamp supposedly 35C lipo with this. So we'll do our first line of sight test with this, and then we'll jump into some 4 cells and see how it operates and flies. But as of so far, I can tell the LEDs on this thing are really decent. The LED green and on the rear for orientation really helps if you're going to start practicing doing some line of sight. I would say the one con for me was the angle on the FPV camera. There's really not too much pitch that you can do to it because the carbon fiber has not been milled out in the center to kind of let that camera tilt more. So that was a little concerning for me. But nonetheless, we've got a nice FPV camera set up on here, and we've got a pretty sunny day today. So we'll see how that performs in today's light conditions. Now, this is a ready-to-fly package. So you are going to get the FlySky FS-I6 transmitter, and this is truly ready to fly. I've had some quadcopters from Gearbest that were ready to fly that were bound to the transmitter, but that was about it. You actually have your arm and disarm switch already set up, and then your flight mode. So you're going to have your angled mode for self-leveling, you're going to have your horizon mode to be able to do flips, and then full acro. So it's really nice that all of our switches are already signed and ready to go. Of course, this is going to be left hand on the transmitter setup. So let's go ahead and jump into line of sight test, and then we'll jump into the FPV. All right, so we've got it plugged in, we've got it bound. Let's go ahead and disarm the motors. And you can see we've got power, so let's go ahead and take it up. We're going to do a little bit of line of sight in angle mode. You can see how stable it is. Again, this is all stock settings, so let's see, our roll on it is not really aggressive, but this is probably a good setting for a beginner, especially the 3S. And our pitch, let's do full forward pitch on angle. That's about it right there. Let's try to do a side view of that so you can see. That's about full pitch. So not full throttle, but full pitch. The LEDs are really awesome. They're really helping me with maintaining orientation on a line of sight. So you always want to start your quad by doing a little line of sight, get a feel of it, see how it feels and performs, and then jump into FPV. You don't want to do too much line of sight when you're flying, when that's what your plan is. Because you really want to get a feel for the quadcopter in FPV. But that's our pitch and our roll. Pretty nice. Let's check out our yaw on it and see how fast it's set up as. Oh, very nice yaw. Very speedy yaw. Almost maybe a little too quick. We'll see. Compared to what our pitch and roll is on this setup here. So let's go ahead and do a punch test on the 3-cell. So 1, 2, 3. And we've got that buzzer going off. I'm not sure how accurate that LiPo buzzer is, because that seems like it's coming on way too fast. I'm not a fan of that. So let's go ahead and land it here and take a look at what it's saying. We'll go ahead and pause here for just a second. All right, so let's go ahead and take it back up. And let's see how it does with the horizon mode and see how these flips do. Again, on 3-cell. Very nice. Nice little roll there. Do another roll. Flip. Seems like it's got pretty good power for being on a 3-cell. Good beginning place. Good punch. Nice rolls. Let's put in acro here and see if we can do an acro flip here. Pretty decent. Bring it down a little bit closer here. And do a roll. Nice. Let's bring her back here. Seems to be doing pretty well. The 3S seems to have some pretty good power to it. See how our funnels look. Nice funnels, getting pushed around a little bit with the wind up here. Got a little bit of a breeze, not too bad. Beautiful day today. Awesome weather for the Midwest. Not like our normal February. Seems to have good power. It's very well tuned, I would say. It feels very locked in, very solid feel to it. No complaints so far on the tune. Seems pretty decent. And of course, you guys out there who like to tune and tinker with these quads, you're gonna probably change it to your liking, but doesn't seem too bad for 3-cell. It's not the fastest quad, but definitely really well balanced. I like the way it feels. I think this is probably a really good beginner setup too. Looks like we're getting a little bit of loss of power here on that 3-cell. So that's just our little bit of line of sight test. Pretty decent. Let's go ahead and bring her back. Let's drop a 4-cell in this. Let's see how she rips on 4-cell. We'll jump right into FPV. Come in for landing. Nice LEDs. All right, let's go for FPV. Let's go ahead and jump into FPV flight. I've got a 4-cell strap to this. Now the batteries I'm running on this one now are the Dynogy, or I think they're Dynogy. They're supposedly 65C rated. Of course, they're 4 cells. You can get these on Gearbest as well. So I'll have a link in the description so you can pick those up if you want to pick up the quad and these lipos too. I've been having some really good luck with these lipos, and they're pretty good price point. So let's go ahead and jump right into FPV. Go ahead and power on the quad. We'll make sure we're bound here. We're bound. And let's go ahead and jump right into some FPV. Much more peppier. 4 cells, very nice. Apologize to everyone, I forgot to grab my run cam for you. I was going to use the DVR footage, but it seems pretty decent. Let's just go ahead and do some passes real quick here and get a feel for this. I've only just flown this just a few times yet so far. Get a nice feel for it. And this is angled mode. Good power. Almost feel like I could use a little bit more pitch on this quadcopter. Doing full forward pitch. Pretty decent. I'm not getting too much of nasty wobbles and tight turns. Feels pretty good. Got an airplane going over us here. All right, let's see if we can hit a couple of these race gates here. Okay, so that was our flight review of the KingKong 210 GT provided by Gearbest.com. I think this is a really promising quadcopter. My review got cut a little bit short because of something a little unfortunate. So I think that maybe me failing to do so. I know in these budget quadcopters, a lot of times they don't bolt everything down really tight. Or maybe they weren't using the right screw lengths. I'm not sure, but on that last crash, it cut my review very short. My top plate totally became dismounted. I didn't know in flight that I was losing it. At the end of that flight there, I started getting some really bad vibrations, and I was wondering what was going on. And then I went to land the craft, and it just totally went out. And then after recovering the quadcopter, I can see that all the standoffs, all the screws just totally came out from the standoff. So really bizarre. I'm not sure the vibrations in the quadcopter would do that and undo those screws. I'm not sure if they just didn't select a good screw size, or maybe, you know, they just didn't tighten them down well enough. So that is a concern of mine. I would definitely take a look if you do pick this quadcopter up, that those are tightened down well, and maybe if not even pulling those out and seeing how long they are, maybe going with a longer screw. So that's a big concern of mine. I can see one of the standoffs got a little bit bent after coming off as well. You know, not a huge deal. I wouldn't you know, I wouldn't say that this should sway anybody away from this quadcopter, because I really like what you're getting here. The 20 amp ESCs, the motor combination, the camera is doing really awesome. The FPV signal is great. It's a 600, so you're getting a lot, you know, good distances and very good clear vision. Just that the screws, which is no big deal. I mean, I can screw it back down, and we're going to be able to fly this quad again. But that's a concern of mine. So anybody looking at this as a ready to fly, take in mind, make sure those are tightened down, or, you know, maybe even pull them out and see how long those screws are that are going in those standoffs, because that did not do its job well. But the quad as a whole is very nice. Really like the setup on it. The LEDs on the rear are really awesome, nice and bright. It does very well on 4-cell, and 3-cell is really nice for a beginner. Just the whole package, the ready to fly package, is very nice, and it's very well tuned and dialed in. So unfortunately, again, our review got cut short because of that. We'll definitely be looking for some more screws here, and I'll try to follow this up with some more flight footage of this for you guys. The sun's going down, so running out of time anyways, but that's my quick review on the KingKong 210 GT provided by Gearbest.com. So if you guys want to pick one up, I'll have a link in the description down below, as always, where you can pick it up. Otherwise, I think it's a good quad. Just you know, make sure you check all those screws and make sure everything's tightened down, because I think there might have been a little bit of lack thereof there in quality control. But everything else seems like a really nice build. So anyways, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them if I can. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I've got lots more quadcopters coming, more videos. The weather's finally starting to break. I'm hoping that it's going to stay this way for us for the rest of the year and start to get nicer, so we can get some more FPV footage. My goal this year is to really do a ton of FPV flying. I want to get better at this. I want to practice more with the race skates and really start to dive into FPV. So stay tuned, because you'll follow me on my journey as hopefully I get better and better as time progresses. So again, thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy flying life.